Shalom, friends. Rabbi Jenny Solomon in Raleigh, North Carolina, Beth Myers Synagogue. I wanted to offer some short words, a mincha moment, hopefully some words of spiritual support and inspiration. So this week's Torah portion is Parashat Titzaveh. Titzaveh comes from that word mitzvah, often translated as commandment. God is commanding Moses, our teacher, who will then relay a series of instructions to the people of Israel. And one of the very first instructions that's given is that the people or Moses to the people, is to laha'alot ner tamid, to bring up and light, to bring these clear beaten olive oil, to light this lamp as a ner tamid, as an eternal light. Those who are synagogue goers know that we have this ner tamid, which often, almost always, hangs in front of the Holy Ark, that is a light that never goes out. Sometimes it's electric. Actually, in the synagogue where I grew up, it's somebody's job. It rotates through the congregation to continually light that lamp day in and day out. And so that's what I want to offer a short teaching on, and that is the idea of hatmada, of continual practice, of keeping the flame burning. And one of the things that we understand is not that this light never goes out. Certainly the Israelites were traveling, and I'm sure there were times in which it needed to be rekindled, resourced. But this idea that we keep coming back in practice over and over and over again is not only an act of devotion, but it is also the way, the path in which we refine our souls and do our spiritual work. So a thought about hatmada. My experience is that consistency is kind of like compound interest, like if you're saving money and you could invest a very, very small amount of money, but over time, over the long period of time, let's say you invest it in, I don't know, something very conservative in the market, right? And over time in a mutual fund, it just grows and grows and grows. And I think consistency of practice is like that too. Sometimes we have the tendency to think like, committing to this practice, sitting down for meditation, getting on my mat for yoga, sitting in prayer, what's this one moment, one experience? But the depth, the riches, and I don't mean in a financial sense, the spiritual riches that come over a long period of time from that consistency they're beyond words. You might be able to think about this in terms of relationships. Perhaps you have a friendship that has, you've continued to nurture that friendship over the course of years or decades, right? I mean, you can't even assign words. I can't assign words to those kinds of friendships because every little call, every moment spent together, every memory made sort of builds this infinite treasure of something that is really like the greatest gift in life. So one of the things that I find so helpful in my practice is to be able to identify why I'm doing it. And I find that when I have a why, when I can identify my purpose, it's so much easier to keep coming back over and over again. So that idea of kind of like, I just need motivation, I don't know how effective that is. I find that the real motivation, the kind of motivation that is unwavering is knowing my purpose. And when I know my purpose, when I know why I am doing this ritual, this spiritual practice, this embodied practice, I don't find it difficult to keep coming back to again and again. And I think it's inevitable for all of us as humans to have moments where that sense of purpose and our sense of our why, either we lose touch with that, or circumstances just make it really hard to keep going, and we kind of fall off the wagon of sorts and are derailed from our commitment to practice. And I think there too, we have an opportunity to come back in love and in compassion with ourselves, but to come back and to know, as in our prayers, Barachamim Tashuv, that we can always come back in love and in mercy. We're never done as long as we're here and we're breathing. We are all works in progress, in process, and it's a gift to be able to come back to our practice, whatever that happens to be. So I hope this offers kind of, again, an inspired teaching from this week's Torah portion about lighting that Ner Tamid, that eternal light. That it is about lighting that eternal light in our physical sanctuary, in our holy space, but it's also about the internal light. It's about being committed to coming back again and again to keep that light turned on. And during this pandemic, I think there is also a tendency to feel like, I don't know, we're just going to sort of press pause. And then when things become normal again, whatever new normal looks like, our practice will be there for us to come back to. That's one way. And it will be there. It will be there. But I think an alternative path is to know that we can even double down on our practice here and now during these crazy times. And our commitment to our spiritual practice, keeping that Ner Tamid going, even during extraordinary circumstances, will allow for that inner light to shine even brighter when, God willing, things become easier. So I'm wishing everyone just continued chizuk, strength, and ometz lev, courage, as we do the work, each one of us, of coming back again and again and again to our practice, and to keeping that light going. Hatmada, Ner Tamid. All right, shalom everyone, peace.